Welcome to a sun-drenched, spectacular Allianz Stadium in Sydney on Gadigal land for one of the matches of the round. For the first time in their short but illustrious history, Auckland FC visit the Harbour City looking for 3 points that will take them one giant step closer to the Premier's plate in their inaugural season. Steve Corica, the man that is the epitome of Sky Blue, returning with the New Zealand-based side, and a victory for the Kiwis would be a hammer blow for Sydney FC's top six aspirations. They sit in sixth place coming in to this contest. It's all a question of priorities because they have one eye very firmly fixed on Wednesday's home match against the Lion City Sailors from Singapore, where only a victory by at least 2 goals will keep their hopes of continental glory alive. Massive contest coming up. A win for Sydney FC would be their 250th in A-League history. They have been the first club to win 5 championships. They would be the first to reach that milestone as well. But it is a monumental task in front of them. Ufuk Talay has made 3 changes from the side that lost 2-0 in Singapore in midweek, 4 from the last A-League match. Douglas Costa and Patrick Klimala arrested, although the Brazilian has made the bench. Coming in, Zach De Jesus at right back. Anis Wahim makes his first start in over 2 months in midfield. And in attack, 20-year-old Adrian Segicic leads the line, looking to add to his 10 goals in the league so far. For Steve Corica, well, he's made the fewest changes to his starting 11 in the league all season, so no surprises that there's only one. And it's enforced today. Max Mata misses out with injury, so Cam Howison comes in for his 3rd start, the first since match day 3 of the season back in November. Otherwise, Corica can count on his first choice defence, the most miserly in the land, and he welcomes back Nader Moreno and Liam Gilliam to the bench. Well, 2 former teammates, 2 coaches that know each other and their games perfectly well. For Steve Corica, he scored the winner in the first ever A-League Grand Final for Sydney FC. Spent 5 seasons as a player, and ever since then in the coaching ranks until the start of this season when he picked up the job at Auckland, building them up from scratch. Ufuk Talay, he hasn't always had great success against Kiwi clubs. The former Wellington coach, of course, 1 win in 4 against the Phoenix and a loss in Auckland earlier this season. Referee Alex King is being assisted by George Lacrindis and Hugh Fenton-White. Nathan Shakespeare is the 4th official. While in the VAR room, it's Lara Lee and Richard Normovsky. There is one of the men of the moment, the 20-year-old Adrian Segicic. He's enjoying his most prolific season of his young career. 10 goals in the league, as I mentioned. He's 2 behind Archie Goodwin. He could add another 5 in ACL2 in 10 appearances to that total. It's 1 behind Patrick Klimala, who he replaces in the starting lineup this afternoon. There is Dan Hall. He plays his 101st match of his professional career this afternoon in all competitions. He's conceded just 4 goals in his 9 appearances to date this campaign, and he is hoping, after back-to-back wins with the Mariners, to win 3 championships in a row. Countdown is on. The stage is set. It is the home side, Sydney FC, that get us underway. Do they have one eye on the return leg of their ACL2 clash? They have to prioritise at this stage of the season, but missing out on finals for this squad, for this club, would be a massive disappointment standing in their way. Auckland FC, who need just 8 points from their remaining 4 games to secure an inaugural Premier's plate in their first ever season. Andy Harper, it has been an exceptional campaign so far for Auckland, but 4 draws in their last 5 suggests that they're into the nervous 90s, perhaps. Sakai with the long throw. That's been a trademark of their season so far. Sydney survive and will have a free kick to settle any nerves of their own.
Okay, Robbie, well, you've set the scene rather beautifully. What a match that's in store. You asked the question, will Sydney have one eye on the Champions League midweek? Well, we will, for sure. I don't know if the players can afford to. But I think anatomically speaking, the focus needs to be at the other end. Have they got the legs today against Auckland? There was sapping conditions midweek. To be honest, the team looked like they struggled with those conditions. And then the disappointment compounding that with the loss. So they need to bounce back today against this fantastic inaugural season that's confronting them in Auckland. The Black Knights, who've come with great numbers in the port. This set up beautifully. The port at the cricket ground end.
They brought the port to the harbour.
They brought the port and they stand opposite the cove at the Paddington end of the ground. Sensational. And one of the best things about this season, Auckland cover most of the bases, but they have gone from 0 to big club status. Seriously, in A-League terms, big club status in the space of a season. It's magnificent. This on the roster now: Sydney v Auckland, Melbourne victory v Auckland, the Wanderers. They've joined that group, and they've done it in a season.
It's Sydney FC with the ball. De Jesus closed down by De Vries, the only outfield player for Auckland to have started every match for the away side. Joel King. He has got the nod in the centre of defence. There's no Alex Grant. He will be sidelined for a few weeks with a calf injury as Dan Hall wins that foot race against Joe Lolly. There are plenty of goals out on that football pitch, particularly in sky blue, and that's without the likes of Patrick Klimala. Their top scorer in all competitions with 16. Segicic, as I mentioned, has 15. Segicic has scored some very important goals. Another chance for Anas Wahim.
It's a big game for Wahim, and it's a big game for Sydney through Wahim. He was so integral to the fluent football at the start of the season, then got injured and has found his way back to the starting lineup difficult. But the way Sydney choose to play, they can't afford to have individuals of his technical ability not contributing.
Senna releasing De Jesus. Here's cut back. Headed by Gallegos, who didn't know too much about it. He was looking around to see where the ball had gone. Senna, that's a good ball into the feet of Segicic. Skips past Verstrata, the Belgian. De Jesus. Again, only finds it as far as Francis De Vries. Ali Francois. Popovic. Who returned to the starting lineup in Singapore. 2 great goals by Lion City Sailors as well. Mean that Sydney have a mountain to climb, but of course, if they can climb it, there is the financial reward as well as the continental glory. $1 million US guaranteed for the finalist. 2.5 if they can go on and win it. Ball in. Devonish Mears claims that under pressure it was Guillermo Mai just making that run to the back post. He's not known for his aerial goals.
No, his season has grown beautifully. Guillermo Mai. Another foul on Leo Senna.
Foul player in the league, Leo Senna. centre again, rides that challenge. Closed down by Gallegos. Two South Americans, here's Anthony Caceres. Ball over the top, it's a good one for Joe Lolly as well. For the first time cross, intercepted by Nando Pinecker. It was his goal that separated the two sides in Auckland earlier this season. In stoppage time at the end of the match, he, like so many of his teammates, Steve Corica's side, has enjoyed a fantastic campaign. And as you mentioned, Andy, great to see a couple of hundred, perhaps even up to 300 travelling supporters for Auckland. Marley Francois, the cross is a good one. And it was taken away from Logan Rogerson by Howison. And now Segicic looks to break forward. Lolly again. He's been the furthest forward for Sydney so far. The shot was a good one. And the save was equal to it from Alex Paulson. Sakai looks to bring it away. It's a fantastic ball out of pressure situation as well from Sakai.
A great chance. Firstly, at the Auckland end of the ground. But the breakaway from Sydney was really good. Joe Lolly, he's adapted to his positional change really well. I think it might suit him today. Just a little less physical requirements, not having to get up and down the flank. And he's still got to work hard as the centre forward, but he's got a little bit more time maybe to recharge the battery. He started looking sharp. Auckland is certainly here to play. A couple of great incursions from them as well.
Long for De Vries, wins the header. Mai arriving. Grant bounces off. Mai's shot on the left boot, through the legs of Popovic, and out for a goal kick.
And the latest instalment. Mai just such great awareness. And dealing with Ryan Grant rather easily in that situation. And how often can just a speculator like that end up on the boot of a teammate who's anticipated. End-to-end stuff here at Allianz to get things going.
Touch from Waim. Can't find Caceres. Mai with Francois opening up, trying to curl it. It was Sakai that led the charge at the turnover. Now Vestrata. Outside with Rogerson. Gallegos. Auckland looking to play this game in Sydney's half of the field. Sydney are the side that make the most passes in the league. Auckland, one of the sides that make the fewest. And they're looking to take the game to Sydney FC here on Steve Corica's old turf. He certainly wants to make a statement over the top for Howison. The makeshift number 9 this afternoon. He's done well. Francois' cross in towards Guillermo Mai. Good punch from Devonish Mears. Waim finds De Jesus, but he's given it away. Again, it's Sakai. So good at reading the game, able to step in. Coming deep, looking for the ball. Francois the touch for De Vries.
Well, the pattern said early, Robbie, you referred to Auckland, who top the comp at the moment, and they do it with the least passes. And the reason why their lofty position is so boastful is that they've slipped into gear here, and they close down really quickly. As soon as they lose the ball, there's a posse of players looking to win it back and attack immediately from a position of advantage. Doesn't take as many passes, therefore, to build up your attack. They just have already come out of the blocks.
The long throw, which has been one of their features all the way through to Devonish Mears. Let's head straight down to Neve Owens, who's with us this afternoon on the sidelines. Neve.
gorgeous conditions here for a doubleheader this afternoon, Robbie. It's still about 22 degrees. You can hear the cove there in the background, loving every minute of this. The pitch, look, not in the best nick. It has had some seriously heavy traffic on it over the last couple of weeks. Even the girls said after the A-League women's game this afternoon that it was tricky to play out there at times. We'll see whether that has an impact tonight on what is a really important game. Victory across the ditch have got that win over Wellington Phoenix this afternoon, 3-2. So that means, if we have a look at a live ladder, that Melbourne Victory move to 39 points. Sydney FC, because it's a draw very early at this stage in this game, they're on 34 points. And of course, Adelaide United play Perth Glory, the bottom side, later tonight. So I reckon the Sydney FC dugout will have a little eye. They'll be well across the result there at Sky Stadium this afternoon and the impact that that could ultimately have on the Sky Blues.
Absolutely, there is so much at stake for both these sides. We saw it, it was a big moment for Melbourne City last night in their 3-2 win. Another 3-2 victory for Victory. We take one of those this afternoon. Either way, another 5 goals. Here's Segicic on the left. Oh, Adrian Segicic! Well, he has a cannon in that left foot. And it just nearly blew a hole in Alex Paulson's net. He's on fire, the youngster. An 11th goal of the season. More than justifying his place in the starting 11. He may have big boots to fill, but he's filling them this season. Sydney 1, Auckland 0.
Well, on the Harvey Norman replay, too much space for Segicic to turn and shoot, and he has blown a hole port side. This is a cannon from Adrian Segicic. What a season he's having. It had power, it swerved. Not even Alex Paulson, who is rightly claiming the top league status, goalkeeper status in the league. He can't get anywhere near it. That is a complete fizz-up. So hot is Segicic, and it sets the scene here magnificently in Sydney.
Well, he was the hero a week ago in the final seconds against Adelaide. And he has underlined his importance once again to this Sydney FC side. One glittering with riches in the A-League. And it's a homegrown talent at just 20 years of age that is stealing more than his fair share of limelight. And if that had been measured a little bit better, Marie-Francois could have released Howison or Mai there. That was a great turn in the middle of the park. Wouldn't say it came against the run of play. We'd already seen Joe Lolly create a couple of half chances as well, but Auckland with no shrinking violence.
Well, there's no way that Auckland weren't prepared, at least in their minds, on the whiteboard with the X's and O's distributed. They weren't aware of what Segicic has been doing and the need to make sure if he gets the ball, don't let him face goal. I mean, he's dangerous enough with his back to goal. Once that failed in the first part of the assessment, that is denying the space, and they just had to pay the ultimate price, and here goes Sydney again.
Waim through the legs of Vestrata. Gets it back from centre, almost had to tackle him. Everyone wants it for Sydney at the moment. De Jesus' cross. Out for a corner.
I just wonder if in a situation like that, De Jesus might have measured the ball a little bit more. You know, it's not uncommon players get into that situation and they just look to hit the ball into space. But so often, that front post, as it should be, is patrolled by a phalanx of defenders. And just a head up, is there a player actually I can pick out rather than just hitting the ball into space? He had time to exercise that option, possibly.
Waim's ball into the near post is cleared. Gallegos' pass is picked off. It was Waim's ball looking for Ryan Grant. Joel King towards Segicic.
The other factor, 15 minutes, I mean, there's been barely time to draw breath, but 15 minutes in, the other factor that needs to be given some attention is the playing surface, which is under repair. It's been rethatched. The difficulties of a couple of weeks ago hopefully have been seen to, but still it's early stages of that repair. Ball bouncing around with abandon, difficult with both sets of players putting their opponents under enormous pressure to win the ball back. With that ball bouncing around, it's a key variable in this game.
And as Neve Owens mentioned earlier, there was a double-header here. The A-League women's match played earlier. Victory for Sydney FC by 1-0 in the final seconds of that one as well. Princess Abini with the winner against Perth Glory. Cross in. Devonish Mears comes and makes a clean grab.
Equally, I mean, De Vries has made enough notches this season to be a target for Sydney. You just cannot allow that left foot to deliver freely into your penalty area. They'll pay that price, Sydney, if they can't close down De Vries.
Referee Alex King sees nothing untoward with that challenge down the left-hand side. Here's Guillermo Mai. Vestrata, lovely touch. My shot blocked. The follow-up. Well, that had some power behind it as well from Gallegos. Got his first goal of the season last week.
Case in point, I think that took just a little bobble before Gallegos let go. But already, Guillermo Mai is showing what a dangerous proposition he is. Joel King had him and then slightly lost him. And that could have been fatal. There's no time to relax against these guys. Auckland are down 1-0 because they relaxed on Segicic, and Sydney came close then with Guillermo Mai.
Devonish Mears again, closed down by Howison, who offers a very different profile to Max Matter, as Steve Corica told us before kick-off. They don't have that big physical target man who's good in the air. They have more of a midfielder who likes to harry and pressure. They also don't have Matters' goals and assists, because Howison is still looking for his first ever A-League goal. Hasn't started since week 3 of the season, back on the 2nd of November. Touch outside, but the flag is up for offside against Logan Rogerson. Don't fall behind very often this season. They've taken the lead, scored the first goal more than any other side in the competition, but they trail early here. They have not won in the 4 previous times they conceded the opening goal. Senna, lovely turn away from Gallegos. Waim now. Doesn't have the pace to get away from Vestrata. He thought he was being fouled. Vestrata running down something of a lone furrow there.
An amazing play from Vestrata. He was a key reason why Auckland were able to set the foundation early. Here he wins the free kick, but the best part of his work was the dispossession of Waim. He thought he was away. He started well, Waim, but he met his match there in Vestrata. He's playing well. He's such a key part of what Auckland are trying to do this season. What they've succeeded in general terms doing here. They've got Sydney largely pinned in, and they're winning a lot of possession as Sydney try to play out.
Marley Francois just dispossessed there by his own weak touch, and then Popovic jumping in. Goal is just the 8th goal that Auckland have conceded away from home all season. A remarkable defensive record, which also shows their approach on the road as well. They have not looked to be flamboyant. They have looked to be very difficult to beat, and that has been the case home or away, to be fair, for Steve Corica's side. If Sydney do become the first side, as Joe Lolly controls, looking for Waim. Again, it's Vestrata with a boot in there. If Sydney do go on to become the first side ever to record 250 A-League wins this afternoon. There'll be a fairly large chapter about Steve Corica in that history. 70 wins for him as coach of the Sky Blues in the A-League. He won the league as a coach, won it as a player. The final trophy, the Australia Cup, 2 years ago, which completed the sweep.
And interestingly, his parting gift, the Australia Cup, got sacked, and now it's that competition, which was Sydney FC are still throwing punches. And on behalf of the A-League, I think everyone's hoping they can do that business.
Here's Lolly for Wayne, looking for space to shoot. It's a good save from Paulson, just perhaps lacked the power to beat the star Kiwi keeper that time.
And he made the space nicely. This is more like it from Wahim. Jinks past two, a third. Tries to get goal side, during which time he's tried to curl the ball to the back stick. Comfortable for Paulson, but nevertheless he had to act. Good goalkeeping, good play from Wahim. Fabulous 20 minutes to get things going here Saturday afternoon. Perfect autumnal conditions for football. Two great teams, good crowd, wonderful stadium. What's not to like?
Wahim delivers. It's a good ball, good header as well off the post from Jordan Courtney Perkins. Sekicic's header has just invited Auckland forward again with Gygos. Now Gygos and Howerson streaming through the middle. Well, that's brilliantly done by Marley Francois. His cross, back post, they're queuing up De Vries. And that was a very tame end to an outstanding opportunity.
How football is this, Robbie? How football is this? Courtney Perkins thinks he's got one home and hosed, and then Auckland have a chance 20 seconds later with a fabulous counter-attack.
Three unmarked at the back post. They couldn't extract maximum penalty from that opportunity, Auckland.
He's dangerous from corners, Courtney Perkins. It's a great header. Paulson beaten. And De Vries might have done better at the other end about 20 seconds later.
He got 3 goals last season, Courtney Perkins. He's got 4 this term for Sydney FC. He was amongst the goals right from pre-season this year. Scored some important goals as well. The left back who can play a more central role. He scored in the derby, scored against Adelaide, in the defeat against Brisbane, and also the loss to Melbourne City. Approaching 50 matches for Sydney FC in the A-League as well. Number 48 this afternoon for the Sky Blue, number 4. Ryan Grant. Way off in the distance in terms of appearances for the one club man. 372 in all competitions. He can quite realistically pass 400 matches for Sydney FC if he plays all of next season. Dan Hall, good header. Here's Hiroki Sakai. Closed down by Courtney Perkins. Rogerson putting his head down and catching the boot of Anas Wahim. Well, he went very low, but he was definitely caught. Referee Alex King taking a lenient view of that high boot to the face. Certainly accidental contact, if not incidental. Dan Hall will have to take that free kick again. Have had confirmation from Mr. Stats, Andy Howe, that Dan Hall is on track still, as it stands, to become the first ever Australian A-League player, should Auckland win the grand final, that is, to play in 3 consecutive winning grand finals. There could be a little bit of history there as Segicic, he was clipped there. He's claiming that it put him off balance just as he was about to pull the trigger. I wonder if VAR will be having a look at that. Was there enough contact? Grant wins it straight back again with Lolly looking to turn inside, met strongly by Pineacre. Grant again, Sydney coming, there's no one in the middle though. Now Sakai takes it very quickly, so there'll be no review. There's the contact. Was it just outside the box perhaps? It's Gallegos who clipped the heels of Adrian Segicic. Nadi Francois does well again to hold on to that ball in difficult conditions. Mai with De Vries. His cross blocked by Ryan Grant. We have seen Ryan Grant playing in the centre of defence, but perhaps the threat of De Vries is another reason why Ufuk Talay wanted his veteran right back at right back. No Alex Grant, no Aaron Gerd. He's out with a fractured collarbone. Kyle Shaw is only just back as well, the youngster who played off the bench in the MPL last night. The F3 derby, that's up next on 10 Bold and Paramount Plus. Rob Stanton, his last F3 derby at the helm of the Jets. The Jets still dreaming of finals football. They need to get what has been rare in recent times, a win. Oh, the ball allowed to bounce. Devonish Mears under pressure from Rogerson, just got enough on it.
Yeah, should always be favourite there. However, he's a big unit, as most goalkeepers are. The added advantage of being able to use his hands, and then it goes in. I mean, would there be a question on Rogerson making contact with the arm of the goalkeeper? Anyway, moot point. Sydney survive for now. The pressure's been relentless from Auckland.
De Jesus again, pass underhit up the line for De Vries, who does well with Pineacre. Back to Paulson. Ball with Sakai. Signed a new contract recently, Hiroki Sakai. Loving life in the A-League, the vastly experienced former Japanese international who's just holding his right leg there. Just sliding in. I knew he made a little bit of contact there, I think. Sakai, the switch. It's a good idea. It wasn't perfectly executed, but they get away with it. De Vries just gives it straight back. Good ball. Nice control as well from Mai. Lestrata with De Vries. Auckland spraying the ball around with precision, with pace and power. Francois does very well down the left-hand side again. He's growing in confidence with each outing as well. Just travelled behind the goal, off the boot for a goal kick.
He started well, Francois, hasn't he? I've identified him a couple of times, Robbie. Unfortunately, he overhit that one. His performance so far would deserve something more telling at the end of a run like that.
Waim's touch, perfectly read by Verstrata. They've turned it over high up the pitch. Gallegos was looking for Guillermo Mai. Intercepted by Popovic. Lolly took off as Popovic was looking for his feet. Grant's head up. Vries again, it'll be another long throw. Long from De Vries towards Pineacre again, who got his head on it.
Well, they've pretty much won everything from those long throws, but not causing Sydney otherwise any trouble. Just wonder at what point, given the regularity of the success in the first instance, there's not an Auckland player following in off that first touch.
Here goes Segicic now. De Jesus, the overlapping run. Blocked again by De Vries. Segicic again. We've seen what he can do from distance. Oh, he's done it again! Well, we're running out of superlatives. Adrian Segicic, with seemingly nothing on, let fly from fully 30 yards out, and again left Alex Paulson clutching at thin air.
Well, the rather humorous, if there is one, subplot to this is Leo Senna wins the ball here. He's desperate to get the ball back. When Segicic turns away from him, he's given him the grand salute, and then the Harvey Norman replay tells the story thereafter. Oh, it's blistering. I can't think of anything else. It's blistering from Segicic. There's nothing brewing, nothing at all. There's no pass he can thread. There's no support play to hurt the goal. So he just pulls the trigger. And again, it swerves viciously. If in doubt, shoot. Amazing from Segicic. Paulson can do nothing, and that's saying something. How hot is this kid?
12 goals this season. He joins Archie Goodwin atop the goal-scoring charts. And it is two absolute rockets. 12 goals. This is his 11th start of the season. So less than half Sydney's matches he's been in the starting 11. He leads the Golden Boot race. And the young guns continue to shine. Senna looking for the contact. He's gone to ground once, then twice. He gets it back again. And there's space on this right-hand side for De Jesus. Sydney's three at the back of Popovic, Grant and King. Oh, why not?
He's going to be shooting from goal kicks next. And your confidence is running high.
And that second goal certainly seems to have rattled Auckland. The returning gift for Steve Corica has been to see two outstanding goals from one of the young players he brought through the ranks at Sydney FC. Now, Marley Francois, great first touch, good save, the follow-up, and Auckland are back in it. 10 minutes to go in the first half. Logan Rogerson with his 8th of the campaign. And just when it looked as though they were in danger of being overrun, they are back in the contest.
Well, 3 goals, Robbie, is about befitting of the opening half hour, 34 minutes. Auckland again with the high intensity, and Sydney not tracking runners. The Jesus was caught out. Good work from Devonish Mears in the first instance. It's a difficult one to react to. He does well. Rogerson fires in off the rebound. Sydney don't track him. It's a huge price to pay. Auckland deserving of a goal, you'd have to say at least, but lacks defending again. Brought Sydney undone. on multiple occasions this year, and from riding high at 2-0 up, they've now got the creaks again, potentially.
And the Port have rediscovered their voice. Oh, had 10 goals in the first 2 games of this round. It's becoming a familiar theme. Another 3 here, 35 minutes in. Rogerson has been a really important contributor of goals for this Auckland side. He's now joined Guillermo Mai on 8 for the season. Nader Moreno, who's on the bench, has 7. Sakai 3, Pineacre 4 as well for the defenders' contribution. Dan Hall up the line, they've given it away again. Joel King. Rogerson giving chase, looking to close down space. Caceres. Really, apart from those, a couple of early runs from Joe Lolly, as this one's long and over him. Segicic arriving again at speed. We haven't seen too much of Sydney's attacking individuals apart from one. The number 7. Haven't seen much of Caceres, who's playing a little bit deeper. That's given away. Courtney Perkins for Lolly. Joe Lolly rolls it back, way in. And that's the second little half an opportunity for him.
Yeah, tame that one. Easy relief for Colson.
Gallegos with Rogerson. Sakai taking off down that right-hand side. Logan Rogerson shapes to shoot, does so.
Why not? Take a leaf out of Segicic's book. Of course, that paled by comparison, but Sydney backed off. There was a lot of space inviting Rogerson. Actually would have expected more from himself at that point.
For the equal best defence in the land coming in to this match, with 21 goals conceded. That's now just 1 clean sheet in their last 7 for Auckland. They are conceding goals, important goals, and I wonder, it's early days obviously, but given the scenario of the match, point doesn't necessarily seem like a bad result at this stage either.
Not another draw. You're not advocating another draw for
Well, 4-4.
Yeah. You just got to deal with it as it comes. I mean, they'll be disappointed that Segicic has had that room, but really thereafter, I mean, he's just hit 2. You can't hit a football better. Like, perfect. Utterly unstoppable. Much like Sydney's experience during the week in the Champions League. As much as they created elements of their own downfall on Wednesday night, the 2 goals that Lion City scored was pretty decent efforts.
Ramsalar and T by the side of half time in that one, a 2-0 win that Sydney will have the opportunity to overturn. And of course, as I mentioned, the Mariners went the whole way last year to win the AFC Cup. That has evolved into ACL 2, which is what Sydney FC Cup winners 2 years ago are still playing in, as Andy mentioned, under Steve Corica, as the twist of fate would have it. Segicic. And back again, no free kick, says the referee. The crowd don't like it. But it's worth A lot of money. There's a hand by Gallegos. Referee sees no advantage. And so Sydney FC will have the free kick. Plenty of talk down on the sidelines. Goalkeeper coach Will there with a little word to Nathan Shakespeare, the fourth official. Estrada with De Vries. No foul again. Referee trying to let play go, which is also what we want to see. We don't want a stop-start match. De Jesus. Caceres. Grant gives it straight back. One for Howison to chase. Popovic is there. Good opportunity for Alexander Popovic now to cement his place in this side. Alex Grant looks like the calf injury is more serious than first thought. Auckland come again. Ufuktale furious on the sidelines, bellowing instructions. De Vries with Vestrata. Sakai on the right-hand side. With Vestrata again, it's a good return ball. Oh, there's holding on there. Sakai is claiming it's inside the box. And it's a yellow card for Jordan Courtney-Perkins. Well, was it inside or outside? That's the question.
Well, if it's for holding the shirt, it doesn't matter where it starts, it's where it finishes. And the VAR will be determining that. It's poor defending from Courtney-Perkins. It certainly starts outside the penalty area. But if he's still got hold of Sakai when he's gone into the penalty area, this has to be a penalty if it's decided that it's a foul. It's poor defending. I mean, the 1-2 was obvious. You could read it in size 48 font in a little golden book. And he took the easy way out to try and hold the man, rather than just track the run and block the passing space.
Yellow card in Times New Roman for Jordan Courtney-Perkins.
He might be reading Sanskrit.
Confirmed just outside the box. De Vries drives it in. Oh, and it's come off the head of Joel King, I think. And behind for a corner.
That's good diligent play from Joel King.
First corner of the contest for the away side. And it will be De Vries again, who just hit that free kick. Plenty of bodies in and around, and that's a disappointing end to that one from the left back, who has such a fantastic left boot.
Very unfamiliar too. He's normally bang on point. It's so consistent, got a lovely left foot. And so consistent with it. And that was, given the circumstance, late in the half. About a minute of stoppage time to come. It'll put Sydney right back in their box with a good delivery.
I've been told there'll be 60 seconds of stoppage time. Harrison Devonish-Mears with the goal kick. Only finds the head of Vestrata, helped on by Guillermo Mai. One for Cam Howison to chase. Now, there was a Sydney FC player who was caught there. I think it's Jordan Courtney-Perkins who's gone down. Sakai, the Auckland captain. Again, well, he may have come through the back of him, but it was leaping for the header, which I think he won. Now Dan Hall's been flattened by Joe Lolly. Referee says free kick again, and all of a sudden it's Auckland. who will perhaps have the final chance of this absorbing first half of football. Ali Francois again looking to cut inside. There's a foul there by Howison. Leo Senna, such a deceptive runner with ball at feet. That minute of stoppage time is up. Will Alex King decide to add on any more? He won't. There's no time even for the free kick. Well, it's been the Adrian Segicic show here at Allianz Stadium in the first half. Two absolute thunderous goals from the 20-year-old, his 11th and 12th of the season. Look to have Sydney on the way to that 250th A-League victory. But Logan Rogerson's 8th of the season has Auckland within touching distance at the break. Half-time in Sydney. Sydney FC 2, Auckland FC 1. We're heading off to a very quick break, but we will be back with the halftime show in just a moment, so don't go away. If you step into my light, you're gonna feel the heat. 'Cause I'm on fire, baby, get it right. I'm about to go like a dynamite. My aura's so extra, find me your fiesta. About to break it down, traffic thunder.
there's smoke, there's fire.
Oh, Taz, we have both loved it so much. I feel like I've had a front row seat halves to the Segachit show. Even his teammates have been going, that stuff is hot, and he's a spicy player. He is involved in absolutely everything out there.
It's been such a good game. It's lived up to its billing. It's a magnificent stadium, good crowd, two good teams are really going for it. Roy's assessment of the Auckland equal goal was excellent. Broski is doing it real tough, the poor guy. Give him a box of Becks or something to get out of this one and get through the next 45. The rest of us could enjoy this is what the A-League at its best is all about, and the run into the finals has all the big guys, all the contenders playing against each other. They're all desperate to knock each other off. This 3 points here, take a point off there in these desperate last 3-4 games to get into the playoffs. Sydney have risen after Wednesday, which was important, but evidently not risen enough to be clear of Auckland, who are defending their mantle at the top of the comp. This has just been brilliant, and I can't wait for the second half.
We are both loving it, Taz. The only bloke in the house who I reckon is not enjoying it so far is Nathan Shakespeare. He's a fourth official, and he's in between Ufuk Talay on one side and Steve Corica on the other, and they've had a whole heap to say in the first 45.
Tell me about it.
What a goal! Far out.
Asia. Barbecues are better with electric grills that sear and char like a gas grill. Plus, you can also barbecue, smoke, and air fry outdoors. Backyard garages are better with pizza ovens to give you crispy crust, high heat roasting, and barbecue smoking. No matter how you're spending your time outdoors, bring it indoors, outdoors, with Ninja.
What does it mean to go your own way? It's knowing what your difference is always a good thing. Own it in the new 7-seat Isuzu UTE SUV.
This year's Alex Tobin Medal is brought to you by Isuzu UTE. The winner of the prestigious award will win their choice of a brand new top-of-the-range Isuzu D-Max or 7-seat MUX. Plus, the Isuzu UTE Alex Tobin medalist will nominate a junior football club to win $10,000. Make sure you're watching this season's grand final when the winning player and club will be revealed.
Welcome back to Allianz Stadium. As you can see, a couple of changes in the Auckland FC ranks. They are chasing the game, looking to reassert their 6-point lead at the top of the standings with just 3.5 matches left in the regular season. But for the moment, they trail to an Adrian Segicic brace. And one of the most spectacular braces you will see as well. Two fantastic long-range efforts. So Callan Elliott comes on for Logan Rogerson on the right side of midfield, and Jake Brimmer comes on, a man that knows all about playing the big matches at the pointy end of the A-League season. He comes on to replace Cam Howison. Andy Harper.
Wow.
Auckland chasing the game.
Amazing. What a game it's been. And Segicic, collector's items. Better braces? I don't know. Better. Haven't seen them since Jed Clanton on the Beverly Hillbillies. Not a decent set of braces like that. Unbelievable. From Segicic. Now what can he bring out second half? What can Auckland do to restore parity as a starting point? What can Sydney do to kick ahead and give themselves some breathing space?
Sydney have it back with Popovic. This is only the third time they've conceded 2 goals away from home this season. Sakai on the charge. He had Francois outside him. Senna dispossessed by Jake Brimmer, who has it again here, the number 22 for Sakai. Auckland back onto the front foot. Grant's header away, back in from Gallegos. De Vries. Jesus with that header, but only straight to Verstrata. Sydney with that 3-4-3. Sometimes looks like 5 in the back, particularly when Auckland are coming forward like they have been, but Elliott dispossessed. Courtney Perkins with the chance to find Joe Lolly. Well defended by Dan Hall.
Sydney able to break free. Intense start from Auckland again. It's got great numbers around the ball, make it very difficult for teams to get out. So uber competitive. They make every possession very competitive. Auckland.
We've seen the importance of their set pieces as well already this afternoon. They have scored more set pieces than any other side in the competition. They've scored more goals from corners than any other side in the competition. And all of that without even being awarded, let alone scoring, a single penalty all campaign. Here's Brimmer. Good ball wide for De Vries. He looks up. That cross is not bad. The header from Popovic. By him fouled by Verstrata.
Yeah, it was a foul, but a lot of times in those sort of scenarios, Auckland don't foul, but they're muscular enough to win the ball in exactly that situation. Verstrata's been excellent at it. Steve Owens referred to the most unenviable position in football as we speak. Fourthie, with Talley on your left and Corica on your right. Still could be worse. Kevin Muscat could be down there.
Got a couple of good assistant coaches down there as well. They know what they're doing. Free kick. Another for Sydney. Leo Senna. Gets it back from Ryan Grant. Sydney give it away. So many white shirts all around the ball. Apart from a couple of tame efforts otherwise, Alex Paulson has had very little to do except pick the ball out of the back of his net on those 2 Adrian Segicic rifle shots that pierced through the Sydney evening. Here's Popovic. Back to his keeper. There's Zach de Jesus, who's back up. It's been a steep learning curve for Zach de Jesus, who did play a little bit last season, 8 appearances, 11 before today this term. Here's Marley Francois for De Vries. Nice play again. Well defended from Popovic.
And again, Sydney really struggling to track runners when Auckland break. That's a nasty one from Sakai. Heavy contact.
I think was going to get there first, Hiroki Sakai.
Yeah,
That quickly changed.
Yeah, I don't think there was any malintent. He was just late to the party. What a great addition he's been to real statesman of the game. Has loved his time in Auckland. Evidently, he has led the charge brilliantly. Players have responded.
Anaswaim still down. Let's head down quickly to Neve Owens, who's with us. Might have an update from what went on at half-time, Nevo.
Yeah, Sakai super apologetic there, Robbie, as Wahim gets back to his feet. Ulfi Tale in the Sydney FC camp was really happy overall with what he saw in that first half. He talked to the players, though, about how important it is that they match the fight of Auckland FC in the second half. He talked about the long balls that Auckland play and how important it is for the Sydney FC players to win both the first and the second balls, because Auckland pushed so many players forward. And he really wants to see some more switches of play. When he thinks the Sky Blues have that comfortable possession, he wants to see them really move the visitors around as much as possible.
Thank you, Neve. Good work down there on the sidelines. Must have slipped a microphone into the changing room. Almost verbatim.
That's why I wore blue today, Robbie. I was ready.
I was speaking to a couple of Sydney FC officials earlier, Neve, who thought it looked like Auckland blue that you were wearing.
I use the same line with Bimby, to be fair, Steve Corica, so I'm going to use it wherever it works.
In naturalistic terms, that's called the chameleon. Neve, new nickname, the chameleon.
Here's Brimmer. Skipping away from trouble. A couple of players just starting to slip and slide around as well. Nice play from Gallegos. Callan Elliott, his turn to try and go on a run. Oh, and he's caught Caceres late. He's managed to pick up the free kick for an earlier contact, though, which means that it will be another set piece, another opportunity for Auckland.
Well, that's a little frustrating. You can understand players being frustrated. Caceres was clearly fouled. Referee decides there was a foul before that. But how many of those are let go? It's, not to say that it wasn't a foul, because nowhere in the laws of the game is there a provision allowing holding opponents. Just so much of it is allowed to go.
De Vries. Long ball, spilled by Devonish Mears, is still alive. Hot potato in the box momentarily, and it's Ryan Grant, who's got only Segacic ahead of him. For Lolly, on for Segacic, picked up by Dan Hall. Well played, Joe Lolly, to immediately win it back for Sydney FC with Senna.
Well, disappointed, Joe Lolly underhit the pass, and Segacic, the man of the moment, would have been free. Edge of the box. God, anything could have happened then, given the form he's in, and anything could have happened here. It's a routine take, should have been, for Devonish Mears.
Grant sliding in, got there first. Verstrata settle things down with Callan Elliott. He's got one goal this season. Callan Elliott, it came late on. It looked like being the winner against the Mariners. Devonish Mears straight back. Wahim, was there a foul there? He brushed Verstrata out of the way. Segacic got another chance. And when fate presents itself like that, you're going to take it.
Well, I guess he thought at this point, well, I have to do the 1-2. But when his touch let him down, what else do you do? What else do you do from that position, as he showed in the first half, but not quite getting the same on that one.
Little rush of blood from Verstrata there.
Most uncharacteristic. Dealt with as best he could by Alex Tolson in the goal.
Those of you familiar with XG may not be surprised.
Don't tell me that counts.
May not be surprised to see that Auckland have doubled Sydney's XG in this one. That only goes to underline how spectacular those Segacic goals were. 9 shots apiece in the contest so far. Waim, good ball in, plenty of pace as well. The header from Verstraete, straight back to Waim. Senna, his ball in too close to Alex Paulson. Pineacre with Hall. Now Brimmer. He was looking for the run of Marley Francois. So he has moved into that Cam Howison role. So that's a good ball in behind. Courtney Perkins, nice first touch as well. And a very good piece of defending from Callan Elliott, the half-time substitute.
It was excellent defending. You know, I think probably showing Sydney a thing or two defensively from Elliott here. Sydney haven't tracked runners nearly as well as this. Probably a contributing factor to their XG. But that was excellent because Courtney Perkins was a great run. He controlled the ball nicely. But Elliott was excellent in making up that ground.
Sydney have conceded 37 goals in the A-League this season. It's been one factor which has proved very, very costly. They have had injuries. They've seen a couple of players move on as well. One for Marley Francois. Just couldn't bring the ball under control and find Dijer Momai. Popovic, King, with Senna. Waim comes short. Dispossessed by Verstraete, and there was a little push though, just.
Yeah, he was lucky to get out of that one. He's been a little weak in possession. Last couple, he's half given that up already. Verstraete couldn't resist, but a couple of hands in the small of the back.
Grant, now that's a good ball for Lolly into the area. Just popped out the back, and Pineacre not showing not enough concern for the ball. Just boots it straight out of play. Now they've got it back with Mai. This is where they're dangerous in transition. Guillermo Mai, deceptively quick, the overlapping run. The opportunity here for 2-2. Saved, and a good save at that from Devonish Mears. Felipe Gallegos denied at the near post. And now Sydney FC. Segicic gets it back. Not for long.
Well, in some senses, Robbie, Sydney are just hanging on. And then again, the players in white just flooded forward, then straight past guys in sky blue. Guillermo Mai sets it up. Devonish Mears excellent with his right hand. He's caught in his near post for the second goal midweek. Not so on that occasion. It's big questions whether Sydney can match the run of Auckland. An hour in, 30 to go, plus stoppages.
And now comes another danger man, Nader Moreno. The Colombian, 7 goals. He's scored some really important goals, some really late goals as well. And now he's on to replace Francois.
That's a good hand. But he held his feet, he didn't anticipate, he played the striker, and he got the reward.
Now Waim racing away down the left against Gallegos. And again, well defended by Felipe Gallegos, helped out by Dan Hall.
Just ran out of room. Look, he starts, he's got a 3-yard start. One kick clear. Gallegos recovered well.
Courtney Perkins. Strong challenge again from Callan Elliott, who's won the throw somehow. Just coming off Courtney Perkins last, but he has immediately won it back, and this time he gets his throw. Immediately looks to Alex King.
It's amazing the disproportionate impact that throw-in decisions have on players and coaches. We saw that in the Joey's match against the UAE. First goal conceded with a contentious throw-in. So too in senior football, Courtney Perkins has toiled away. He's had a couple of moments defensively in which he wouldn't be proud, and certainly have not matched his CV for the season. Maybe there's a little bit of game fatigue, difficult during the week. Corey Holman ready to come on. I wonder if that's for Wahim.
Well, that was one of the changes from the midweek side in Singapore. Corey Holman started there. Free kick taken quickly and short with Caceres. He's looking to create the angle, heads to the back post. Back in, Tynaker repelling Ryan Grant's initial header, but they won it back off Guillermo Mai. Caceres involved. Back for Grant, and it's overhead again from Courtney Perkins.
Too heavy on the touch. A bit more aware. Maybe Jordan could have opened up his body and shot with his left foot, edge of the box. Sydney winning the ball back, but there's nothing coming easily for either team. Look at the response from Auckland here. I mean, that sums up why they've done so well. Tynaker put the pressure on, maybe took a little bit of a gamble leaving his post, but they're so programmed to closing the ball down. I guess particularly after the half-time address when they didn't do that with Segatic.
A late goal that settled the first meeting between these two in Auckland. In the Black Knights' favour. No free kick, says the referee. Sakai furious. But Dan Hall is quickly across in cover. Stays on his feet as Joe Lolly went to ground. Now Gallegos with Brimmer. Ball for Callan Elliott. Joel King across in cover. Elliott had front position. Free kick. Goes Callan Elliott's way.
It's an expensive free kick potentially as well. The ball's going out for a throw-in. And they just don't need to create any doubt in the ref's mind. And he's got his shoulder in the back of the player. And you're playing into the strength of Auckland. It's a really strange decision from Joel King, but set pieces, as you've referred, Robbie, on more than one occasion in the broadcast. Dangerous from set pieces. Don't give them the opportunity. I'm sure that's what Ufuk Tele is thinking. Why have we done that? And then now we've got to get out of it. Devin Ishmears has been basically strong. He's dropped a couple.
It is Anas Wahim that will make way for Corey Holman. Auckland have scored from 6 indirect free kicks this season, more than any other side. Get into that, 7 corners, which along with Western United is more than anybody else. Moreno into the game, over the free kick. Good ball in as well, and it made it a long way before it was cleared. Senna, well, he needed to release that quickly, couldn't do so. Holman, he's done well to find Segacic. Sky Blues with numbers forward. Adrian Segacic driving it towards Lolly. Well, it was a really good ball from Segacic, and Lolly just couldn't keep the shot down.
That's brilliant defending. from De Vries. Great attack from Sydney. Centre didn't see Segacic in the first instance. Then it turned into a mini scrap in the centre circle. Corey Holman had processed that information, and when the chance came for him to release Segacic, he did it. Segacic, I mean, most people were expecting him to shoot. I know I was. But he slid the ball in nicely. Joe Lolly arrives. But De Vries was excellent, really excellent in that tackle.
King doesn't want Sydney to get into any time wasting. Joe Lolly to take. That's Paul to the near post. Cleared by Elliott. Brimmer wins it a little too easily off Caceres. Now Gallegos. There's an overlap on that far side. De Vries. He's got Verstraete ahead of him. Moreno. Does well. Back with Dan Hall. Gallegos wrestling to keep it alive. Sakai now. With the big switch. He looks inside for Guillermo Mai. Nice control, nice turn as well. Laporte, Raw as one. Sakai. Verstraete again, the little 1-2 for Sakai into the area. Drives it across the face of goal. De Vries hits it, deflected and in. We're all square. Midway through the second half, and Auckland have continued to attack, continued to believe, and they have received their reward through Francis De Vries' deflected shot.
Well, it's Francis De Vries who saved Auckland's bacon just a minute or so ago with that last-minute tackle on Joe Lolly. And on the Harvey Norman replay again, Devonish Mears palms the ball over to the vacant right fullback area for Sydney. Vacant enough for De Vries to save his team at one end and now give them a huge chance here. They've been really strong, Auckland. Sydney have been wobbling, and the breakthrough has come.
Perhaps tellingly, look at the reaction of the Auckland players. Go and get the ball. This is not finished. We're not celebrating the goal. We want to get on with it. It's one step along the way, a second goal of the season for De Vries after he netted in the 2-0 victory over the Jets.
Well, he's the one who ran to get the ball out of the goal. But equally important is replaying that tackle on Joe Lolly on the 6-yard box. Without him making that effort, Lolly, in normal circumstances, would have made that 3-1 for Sydney. Outstanding from Francis De Vries. Simply outstanding.
Now, free kick. Foul by Hall on Lolly. He's also got 6 assists this season, Francis De Vries. There you see it. Stepping on the foot of Lolly, and this free kick must be very tempting. There's no Douglas Costa out there, but there are plenty of players who would fancy this one. Anthony Caceres is one, Joe Lolly is one, Leo Senna is there as well. Adrian Segacic has very humbly stepped away to the D. Well, this is now into a very important part of the season for these two clubs. It's that time of year, with just a month remaining in the regular season, 3 matches left after this one for these two sides. Sydney FC, the roll back, Caceres strikes it, always rising. Unable to test Paulson that time. Good grab in the crowd. Let's head down to Neve Owens, who's got a little update as the temperature rises on the benches, Neve.
Sure does, Robbie. It was rising out in the middle. It was rising here on the benches beside me as well. Nathan Shakespeare's had a little word with Steve Corica and indeed his assistants here on the sideline just prior to that last goal to say, settle down, boys. This is your first warning. And it's interesting because Steve Corica said to me pre-game, Robbie, that he wasn't sure how he felt. It's his first time back at Allianz Stadium against his old club. He had been back here to play MacArthur Bulls in Unite round. I tell you what, he is all in behind his new team. He is feeling every single moment of this one.
Fantastic. He'll look back and perhaps try and analyse this moment later in his career. Players and coaches, they become identified with clubs when they enjoy success, when they enjoy longevity. Steve Corica won it all with Sydney FC. And now he's back looking to start a similar run. De Vries, the ball in, cleared behind by Grant. Another corner to follow. Just the second of the evening for Auckland. Barely split the two sides statistically. Possession 53-47, shots 12-11 as the ball in, the punch from Devonish Mears, then hooked away by Segicic. Shots on target 5-6 in Auckland's favour. Final third entries, touches in opposition box. There's barely cigarette paper between them. When you think of the grueling conditions in which Sydney had to play in midweek on Wednesday night, they flew back overnight. They arrived at 10:30 on Thursday morning back in Sydney. Holman for Lolly, Segicic ahead of him. Segicic, the cutback. Flag up for offside.
Well, there's a tired attack, having just summed up their travel and the difficulties of the midweek game. That was a tired attack. In as much as Corey Holman was strong, but the decision-making thereafter was tired. Segicic just drifts offside. Lolly might have been able to recalibrate.
Again, you look at the white shirts all around.
They've been amazing. I mean, they have come to Allianz with their fangs sharpened. You posed, Robbie, earlier, after all these draws that Auckland have had, that they might be happy to leave with a draw given the way the game started. I think you could perhaps put Sydney in that discussion now. They don't look unlikely when they're breaking Sydney, but you don't get the sense that they're rock solid at the back, and they're really finding it difficult to match Auckland across the ground.
Sakai again blocked. Berlufi Tale did say that next Wednesday's home match would be just about the biggest in the club's history. The semi-final return leg, which is overlooking the famous next game. Next game is the most important. Sakai, the long throw. Pineacre's in there, it's flicked on. De Vries arriving again. Well, we saw Herman Ferreira, the hero, unlikely. Yesterday for Melbourne City. Is Francis de Vries going to be that player for Auckland? Sydney have found a very likely hero so far in Adrian Segicic. Yellow card for Brimmer. "15 minutes to go. Still no Douglas Costa. A couple of changes are coming though for Sydney. We've seen Corey Holman come on. Jaden Kucharski and Thiago Quintal are preparing to come in as Lolly hits it. You can see what he was trying to do as the ball faded away towards the back post.
Now that was makeable. Not a bad idea from Joe Lolly. we're talking about players coming to ground, and basically it's Auckland that are filling the top spots there. Ryan Moran, who playing as a right centre-back of a back five, has committed himself forward, and he did so just then, in incredible regularity. It has left a hole in behind that Sydney have found hard to cover when Auckland are counter-attacking. There are times when, even though he's playing in defence, Ryan Grant is trying to lead from the front, literally.
You can see the tension on the faces of the supporters. The Cove and the Port continuing to exchange chants, making plenty of noise. Senna gets it back, rather fortunately. He's then wrestled off it by Guillermo Mai. He is a real battler as well. Let's have a look at the live ladder as it stands. 1 point. With Western United still to come, they could close it back to 3 points. Final game of the season at Ironbark Fields, Western United versus Auckland FC. That could be the decider yet. Ironbark Fields won't know what hit it.
Back to capacity. Well, thankfully, there's another couple of chapters before we get to the last round, because all the big guys are playing each other. Sydney have got today Melbourne City, Western United and Newcastle on the way in. Auckland, you've said. Melbourne City have Wanderers, Adelaide and Sydney. The Wanderers have Western, the Jets and Macarthur, who are still in it. Macarthur themselves have got the Mariners victory and Wanderers last.
Moreno knows a thing or two about late goals. Moreno! Well, that wasn't far away.
He's done well, Moreno, as the Auckland super sub, and off the boot, that looked like it was going to test. Enough for Devonish Mears to throw himself ballward anyway.
King looks long. Courtney Perkins playing very high up on this left flank. Dan Hall wins it in the air. Holman forward for Segicic, helps it on cleverly to Joe Lolly. Might have been in an offside position. The flag does go up. It's a clever little idea from Adrian Segicic.
Well, the changes for Sydney when they come to pass. I wonder if Joe Lolly will be given a breather. Carrying a big load, he's done well tonight. Kicharski, who used to be Sydney super sub, to centre forward, maybe. Tiago Quintal was also ready to come on. That's all gone cold at the moment for Sydney.
Amazing to think they've travelled to Singapore and back in midweek. The trying conditions, the artificial pitch that they played on, so many things against them, and still just one change made so far from Ufuk Talay. Saw Josh Sotirio, who's recovered from a hamstring strain. 2 appearances off the bench for him since arriving from India for Sydney FC. He's there warming up as here come Auckland again. Moreno. Oh, the ball, surely Bremer cleared off the line. Agonisingly, as everything went into slow motion. Free kick goes Sydney's way, and they will take it.
This is the heart-stopping end of this. Heart-stopping for Auckland fans who are looking to secure their place atop. Agonising for Sydney, who are watching a 2-goal lead, and 3 points evaporate into a lost situation. Beautiful ball from Guillermo Mai to split the Sydney defence again.
There are some weary legs. Senna for Lolly. Offside against the Englishman.
Sydney. They need some fresh legs and nothing else. They're still discussing. Both players in the technical area have their bibs off and are ready to go.
But again, they decide to wait. And Kucharski can see the funny side. He's a fairly relaxed customer. Comes with knowing somewhere deep inside that this is his moment to shine as well. If he gets that opportunity. He's had a couple of career highlights at this stadium late on. Oh, Devonish Mears with the brain fade, and it's off the post from Moreno. Goodness me, what was going through the keeper's mind there?
I'm going to venture to say nothing. What on earth was that? It's an escape of epic proportions. If ever there was a stay of execution, we might have just seen it.
And he gets another couple of moments to think about it. Kucharski made a name for himself in these kind of situations. He replaces Joe Lolly. No Quintal just yet. Grant dispossessed. Auckland are coming. Auckland are relentless.
They've been awesome. Really, they've been awesome. And Sydney still with opportunities.
Leo Senna not happy with the Chilean. Gallegos. Senna wants to keep going. Moreno getting involved.
Well, they've got him where they want him. He'll pick up a yellow card for his reaction here. But the Kota Sudamericana is about to kick off. It's about the 10th foul on Senna today. You can understand why his blood boils. There's not much else a ref can do. They're not egregious fouls. 6, 10, whatever, between friends. It's all the same sort of foul.
Moreno wants to keep going as well. Well, it was the Chilean on the Brazilian first before the Colombian came and got involved. Sakai looking to settle things down a little bit again. Still Senna wants to keep going. Gallegos has got right out of the situation. Everyone together for the big group hug, but Felipe Gallegos isn't too interested. It's going to be yellow cards all round.
So Auckland really got what they wanted. They stopped the attack. They got right under the skin of the Brazilian. They'll take a card for that, but they've ruffled Senna's feathers. And everything here today. We've had world's best goals, seriously. Those two from Segacic. A nuggety comeback, awesome from Auckland, who are on the verge of winning this. When Devonish Mears offered them a Christmas gift in April. They escaped that, Sydney. What a football match this has been.
2 moments where the ball was rolling agonisingly towards the Sydney goal. Gallegos makes way, replaced by Tommy Smith. Now, is he going straight in up front?
There's a really canny change, because if Devonish Mears is a little bit rattled, the last thing he wants when these corners and free kicks are coming in are having to do with Tommy Smith. And Auckland are good from that situation anyway.
Sakai can't prevent the corner.
And still Sydney survive. 2-2 playing at home. We're talking about Sydney surviving. physically, Auckland have a clear advantage. They can't get away on the scoreboard. And Sydney, not unlikely to get a third here.
Well, they have had to dig so deep as well, Sydney FC. To finish on those travel arrangements, they actually had Thursday off. So training yesterday and game today. Senna for Segicic. Segicic across the face of goal. Nobody attacking it for Sydney FC.
Nice variation from the free kick. Just not arriving in time. How responsive the other Sydney players were to what was on. But it was a tap-in if someone has made up the ground.
It's another corner now. This one more conventional. The header from Elliott, only as far as Caceres. That might be another corner. It's a goal kick. It's come off Caceres last.
Bang on the head, straight into the head. Bit of a bell ringer there. Alex King rightly asking if the player is all right. He's not in a position to make the assessment, the referee, but showing the right care.
Douglas Costa marching on. We're not going to see him on the pitch today by the looks of things. Well, in their list of priorities, certainly Sydney FC were looking for a win this evening, but that match on Wednesday night is massive for them and their season. And with a point here, they live to fight another day for finals football as well. Verstraete. Is there a free kick? No, says the referee. Big dive from the Belgian. Caceres up the line for Kucharski. He turns down Hall. Kucharski could have released Segicic. Now finds it back for Kucharski. What an opportunity that was. And Kucharski didn't release it.
Thrilling. Because Auckland were about to start World War V for the challenge on Verstraete. And how Kucharski didn't see that pass for Segicic.
Caceres again. Is he fouled? He's handled. Doesn't get it. He's kicked it away.
Well, a tough game to ref this because it is all on. There's the handball, which was the free kick adjudged. And fair enough, got no problems with that exchange. But what was Jaden Kucharski seeing or thinking? It opened up like the Sydney Heads. And guess who would have been on the end of the pass?
The potential hat-trick man. Well, it may yet happen. Moreno and Grant, another physical altercation there.
This has been a thrilling game.
Holman, Kucharski with Segicic. He's caught by Brimmer. Caceres, hopeful, wasted. In the end, really comfortable for Sakai, and there's numbers here forward for Auckland. Moreno with Brimmer. Wide on the left. Tommy Smith at the back post. The cross deflected. Guillermo Mai involved as always. Corner to follow.
Well, 5 minutes of stoppage time. It's barely enough, really. I mean, this has just been so good to watch. You feel like on nights like tonight, just play till someone wins.
Well, it might yet happen.
What a game of football. What a contest between desperate footballers.
Steve Corica is heading to the bench as well. Jesse Randall is prepared to come on. Moreno with the ball, back post. Again had Devon Ishmeers scampering. Now Francis de Vries is down now as well, as the change is coming, and it is de Vries who's going to make way. Jesse Randall is coming on. And there's the change as well. It's Adrian Segicic who's coming off. He has to take a double take. Applauds the Cove, applauds the stadium, and receives a standing ovation in return for those two outstanding goals. Thiago Quintal into the game. Well, we probably will have more than the 5 minutes of stoppage time now for that double change, and the time it took to get De Vries off as he makes his way past in front of the port now, the travelling Auckland supporters. Verstrata, Tommy Smith drags Jordan Courtney-Perkins to ground. Leo Senna. The Brazilian has seen so much of the ball again. That's poor from Holman. Gives it away. Guillermo Mai gives it straight back to Ryan Grant. Senna. Moreno. Dragged to the ground by Joel King. That could easily have been another booking there as well.
Yeah, I thought so. Don't have to guess how quickly Auckland are going to play with this one.
Sakai drives it in.
Free kick taken quickly. Now the corner. Squeaky bum time for Sydney fans. Look at the anticipation on the Aucklanders.
Well, there's going to be one destination for the goal scorer if there's to be one here in the final seconds for Auckland. Moreno delivers near post. King clears. Moreno gets the second chance. Pass Quintal. Moreno still shoots for an impossible angle. His teammates can't quite believe what they've just seen.
Will he beat Thiago Quintal? Nice roll. It's a really improbable angle. Not quite as egregious an oversight as Jaden Kucharski's, arguably.
Centre again. Forward he comes, great control. Again getting front position, looking for the free kick, gets it eventually. Caceres. Kucharski's in the middle. Caceres still. And from one end to the other, corner for Sydney now.
That type of night, Robbie, hasn't it? End to end. The players must be nearing exhaustion. And it's just been such a thrilling game of football.
Is there one rabbit left in the hat? Kucharski. Well, he had the opportunity, didn't take it, and now the break is on. Jesse Randall, fresh legs, streaking away. He's got two forward with him. Guillermo Mai. He keeps it alive. Mai still overdoes it, but has won it back incredibly and shoots just over.
Well, that was strange from Senna. Defensively, maybe tired. Maybe tiredness brought that decision about, but he tried to play out at the death, and it was nearly it. What a match. Congratulations to both.
An epic encounter as Steve Corica returns with his near all-conquering Auckland FC to the Harbour City, to a tired but valiant Sydney FC, whose continental jaunts are starting to take their toll. But this was an epic football match. Adrian Segicic firing Sydney into a 2-goal lead in the opening 32 minutes, with 2 goals from the very top draw, only for Logan Rogerson and then Francis De Vries to set up a grandstand finale at 2-2. And unfortunately, the final whistle beat us all to that winning goal. Status quo between these two, both at a point to their tallies. but this season is going right down to the wire. It's finished here in Sydney. Sydney FC 2, Auckland FC 2. Well, let's have a look at the highlights of this one as Leo Senna catches up there with Douglas Costa. Alex Paulson beaten twice. There's no 11th clean sheet for him. Here are the Harvey Norman highlights, Andy Harper, and highlights are certainly the word.
Well, there's a game full of them, but these two were pretty irreplaceable as the big moments of the game. Just really incredible shooting from Segicic. He might have had a hat-trick late, was denied that opportunity. And then Sydney really on balance lucky. Not lucky, that's not fair on them. Will be very relieved that they got the point in the end, because Auckland were awesome. Just awesome, physically awesome, and the mentality of the team. And Sydney cracked defensively. They didn't chase when they needed to. They're a little slack here as well. They got enough numbers there, but no one can recover. And De Vries, who just 30 seconds earlier had denied Sydney a chance to go 3-1 up, then makes his way upfield to level the scores. It was just a pulsating game between these two very, very good teams.
It's a 5th draw in 6 matches. Auckland still need 7 more points from their last 3 games to be sure of the title. Dan Hall picked up 1 point, Leo Senna 2, Adrian Segicic was the man of the moment, and he is with Neve Owens now.
Adrian, what an incredible game of football. I don't know how to sum it up from the sideline. How do you sum it up, having been in that contest for the last 90 minutes?
Yeah, look, obviously it was a tough game. You know, they're coming first, so we knew it was going to be a tough game today. But for me, yeah, it was good to get another 2 goals. It would have been good to get another Hattie and win the boys the game, but it was still good.
We were backing you in to get it because the 2 you scored were absolute worldies. Talk me through that moment where you look up, you see there's space, and you decide, I've got this.
Yeah, look, I think it's my left foot, it's a sledgehammer, so I know when I've got a few seconds, if I pull that trigger, I back myself to score from anywhere.
We back you too after what we've seen today. You just had a word with Bimby there a second ago, a coach that brought you through here at Sydney FC. How special are those moments, and I guess how fierce is that rivalry as a result with Auckland?
Yeah, obviously it's good. You know, Bim brought me through when I was 15, 16, so yeah, look, it's been good. You know, he knows me, I've known him, so yeah, to come back and give him 2 goals, it was good.
Does it feel a little bit like one that got away as well? You're up with a 2-goal lead, and maybe some of those defensive frailties we've seen throughout the season reared their head again.
Yeah, definitely. Look, up to now, I think they're the games that, you know, we need to see out, especially this time of the year. Look, I think now every game for us is a grand final, and it does feel like the 3 points have slipped away.
Massive game on Wednesday night as well. Are you saying to Uffy, after a performance like this, start me again, boss?
Of course, always.
Well done today.
Thank you very much.
Well, let's have a look at the Paramount Plus player index then. Adrian Segicic, no surprises there atop the tree. Francis De Vries, a good second place. Senna, Verstraete, Rogerson, who went off after that first half but did get his name on the score sheet as well. Devonish Mears, Marley Francois was good in that first half for Auckland. Grant and Wahim and Gagos, who was involved in a bit of the spiciness late on. Our next level ninja, Andy Harper, is Francis De Vries. Outstanding again in an attacking sense this time.
Yeah, I just thought he was brilliant today. I mean, the left foot's been very regular, but it was the competitiveness he showed today. And it's not that he hasn't been that